this time we'll be looking at from the DC Universe Classics Wave 13 Cheetah figure, the Golden Age Cheetah, and the modern version of Cheetah. On her card, you see the biography and statistics, as well as the other figures in the line: Negative Man, Superboy, Cyclotron, Blue Beetle, Blue Devil, and Donna Troy, as well as the Collect and Connect figure, Trigon. As you can see, there are some similarities and some minor differences in each of the figures, besides from the obvious different paint jobs. We're going to focus on the Golden Age Cheetah, or Priscilla Rich, who first appears in Wonder Woman number 6 in 1943. That's a very nice sculpt. You get a nice face sculpt here, I think. Her hands are made of this very soft plastic. I guess they were worried about people poking their eyes out on hard plastic with her sharp nails, so they gave her very soft plastic hands. It seems to have, at least to me, a very limited elbow joint. Maybe that's just because it's a female figure and they don't want to stress this very thin arm too much. She does have a little tail that's part of the costume. I would have liked to have seen the tail have a bendy wire in there. Just the one point of articulation is okay, but I'd much prefer to see that bendy in there. Give that just a little added posability. Now, Priscilla Rich is a debutante who suffers an inferiority complex, and she develops a split personality after thinking herself upstaged by Wonder Woman at a charity event, and she looks into a mirror and sees her true evil self and just becomes evil. And she has several run-ins with Wonder Woman over the course of the next couple of decades. She even joins the equivalent of the Flash's Rogues, known as Villainy Inc., which comprised of all the, or most of the major foes of Wonder Woman, until she retires. Her niece, named Deborah Domain, briefly takes over as Cheetah, inheriting her costume and name after the criminal organization known as Cobra tortures and brainwashes her. You can read her adventures in the comic series The Secret Society of Supervillains. However, her existence was retconned out by the Crisis on Infinite Earths. Well, her existence as the Cheetah, at least. She is still a niece of Rich in the post-Crisis universe, but she never becomes the Cheetah. After the Crisis, Priscilla Rich, in her retirement, is murdered by Barbara Minerva, the modern-day Cheetah. This is a good time to go over the subtle differences. Of course, the major difference that you'll notice right away is the head sculpt and hair, and the paint scheme, which has a slightly less spotted appearance. You'll notice that she's not as spotted on the inside of her arms and limbs as the Golden Age Cheetah is, and of course her black stretch pants and sports bra, which has caused some controversy among collectors. When this figure was initially shown, she was shown to have the more, naked appearance, as the character generally goes around as, looking more like a werecat person than a female dressed up as a cat. So she did not have this level of modesty, and I guess Mattel decided to paint her some clothes. They said they would release the less modest figure at some point, but they haven't said how or when. So anyway, some more differences. Of course, you notice that she doesn't have the wrist band here. Her feet are just actual feet instead of boots. You do notice that she does have a dark spray paint over the outside of her body, the outer edges of her body, her limbs, I guess to give her that more animal, naturalistic look. They, of course, come with both the same piece of trigon and the same button, which represents the Golden Age Cheetah. It's, I believe, from one of the Wonder Woman covers in the 40s. A little bit more about the modern age Cheetah, or Barbara Minerva. She first appears in the George Perez run of Wonder Woman, the second series, I believe around issue 20 or so. She doesn't appear until really quite a ways in. She is a heiress and archaeologist. She's actually a British subject. She is searching for this tribe in Africa that has a female that's rumored to have this female protector with the mystical attributes of a cheetah. She finds the tribe, but rebels or marauders manage to kill the current guardian. So she forces the tribe to have her undergo the ritual, which would make her the replacement. Unfortunately for her, the ritual requires a virgin host for these powers. Otherwise, the person will have in her human form severe pain and physical disability, but will also have an insatiable bloodthirst in the cat form. So she's kind of damned either way. I believe one of her main goals is to get the lasso of truth, and since she's an archaeologist, she's very much caught up in acquiring the mystical weapons and devices that Wonder Woman has or guards. This is pretty murky territory for me, because I'm not really a big Wonder Woman fan, so I know some of it, but not all of her history. I know that she does gain more super speed after Zoom or Hunter Zolomon helps her to achieve this, and that involves her murdering the original cheetah, Priscilla Rich, who by this time is an elderly woman. Before that, briefly lost her powers to a male. His name was Sebastian Ballesteros, and she does kill him to regain her powers. Both have seen animated versions in the Challenge of the Super Friends and all the other Super Friends. The modern version, Dr. Minerva, in the Justice League and Justice League Unlimited series, where she is not an archaeologist but a geneticist who experimented on herself and became this were-cat kind of a creature. I lean towards liking this version of the cheetah a little bit better because of my experience with Super Friends and the Challenge of the Super Friends. This version of the cheetah, I really don't know that much about other than what I've already said. So that'll be it for my review on the cheetah. Stay tuned for my next review, which will be on Blue Devil.